Thank you.
That was Angela who forgot to unmute. But good morning, everybody. I know that looking for a job at age 50 is actually more challenging than we would prefer. The interviews can take longer, the callbacks can be fewer, and while all of that is happening, the bills still need to be paid. So, what I'm going to talk about is a little different, perhaps, than what you were expecting. We're going to talk about what you can do right now while you continue your job search. We're talking about selling yourself while you look for work. Now, most people, when they lose their job, they use all of their time looking for work. Nothing wrong with that. But during this session, we're going to talk about a different vantage point and how can you use what you already know, your brilliance, your expertise, to earn in the meantime. So our agenda is simple. Only two things we're going to do. We're going to examine your options for self-employment, and then we're also going to take a look at how can AI help you. I'm going to do a demo of a couple tools which we're actually going to gift to you that will be very helpful as you go forward. So honestly, I think this is one of the most important sessions you could attend, not because of me, but because of what's happening around the world in our country right now. Let me explain. So you don't have to be a futurist. You don't have to even be well connected to know that the world is changing. It is changing fast and it is changing dramatically. We are in the midst of what I call this in between time between the fourth and the fifth economic revolution. Now, economic revolution is really about how money is made and how people work. Now, if we go way, way back to the first revolution, we're talking about going from hunters and gatherers over to being farmers. So the shift was actually the landlords made all of the money. The way we worked, we had land. We didn't have to scavenge around. We had actual land that we could own and grow and sell. Our next shift went from being landowners to factory owners. People left the farms, different way of working, and they went over to the factories. That third shift was a technological based shift. And the wealth went from factory owners over to network owners. You remember the dot-com time when everybody who had a network, a digital network, they were making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So we're in right now, and we're moving away from this fourth economic revolution, which we've been calling the knowledge revolution. During this time, you see a lot of people are leaving employment, traditional employment, and they're selling their skills on their own. I call it going back to the future. Now we are quickly entering, but we're somewhere in between this final economic revolution. It is robotics, AI, and automation. So we're in between the knowledge revolution and the automation revolution. Now, do I have permission to be just real bold with you and stretch you just a little bit? Put a Y in chat if you want me to give you what most people believe is actually coming, because we want you to be prepared. We don't want you to be like the farmer who refused to use the tractor because he was used to using the mule. Okay, I see the Y's are flooding in. So this might make you feel a little uncomfortable, but it will equip you for this transition. Let me show you a little video that will sort of capture why I say things are happening so fast. The stuff that we used to could count on and what we're used to is disappearing. It's disappearing. And I don't know about you, but it makes me feel a little wonky. It makes me feel like, what can I hold on to? But look at these numbers. These are all recent quotes, recent research. Here are a few reports about big companies, large enterprise companies, and how they are hiring freelancers. So we see that FlexJobs says major corporations, including Amazon. Okay, I think the audio, yeah, it was playing. Okay, sorry, I thought it wasn't playing. Are
That's
hiring
okay.
more and more freelancers. The freelance platform marketplace analysis agrees that the shift toward hybrid models where they are integrating freelancing talent into their workforce strategies is growing significantly. Jobbers agrees that this report says the overall stats mention that large company, especially tech clients, are engaging freelancers. More agreement among the researcher. They're relying on freelance talent. Now, these are large corporations, and Upwork reports that Fortune 500 companies said a significant portion of their workforce comprised of freelancers and is growing. And I want to bring your attention to something right here. Right here is the Forbes recent report that highlights that by the year 2027, which is next year, 50% of the workforce will be freelancers. So if you thought anything differently about self-employment, it's time for a mindset shift. And that mindset shift is mandatory. It's mandatory. Because just like you don't drop off your resume at corporations anymore, you don't search the want ads to find jobs. Some people really despise AI, and I get it, because in the hands of evil people, it's going to do evil things. But we must learn to adapt with the times. And it is going to cause us to have to shift our minds. Freelancing and AI are two of the biggest engines today that will impact the workforce now and in the years to come. And again, I'm going to give you a few tools that you can use, and I'm going to demo a couple of them so that you can prepare. I call it the now future. It's right now. But let me start by sharing a little bit of my story and listen for a lesson for yourself. So I have been in business for over 30 years, most of my adult life. And guess what? I started my first business because, wait for it, I got fired. I got fired. I was working for this Beltway Bandit, the consulting companies around the Beltway to get these huge government contracts. And I was only there for 6 months and I was fired. Unjustly, of course, but that's another story and I don't care. And guess what? That night, I went out with a friend of mine. We went to have drinks and to celebrate my freedom. That's how I launched my first consulting company. During that time, I finished my first book, and a publisher said, "Hey, write 2 books for us." So I ended up with 3 books, and those 3 books made me an instant national expert. With the release of every book, my consulting firm grew and things were going great. I was traveling around the country, I was training and speaking and enjoying myself. But then, after all of these wonderful clients, federal, state, local, big corporations, small companies. After all of that, something unthinkable happened. Another life crisis. And you probably experienced things are going well, and all of a sudden you have a divorce. You got a wayward child. You got an illness or a sudden layoff. Can anybody understand what I'm talking about? I had a second crisis. This crisis started by a child bursting through my bedroom door to announce, "Mom, I'm having a hot flash." Now, strange. I was not even old enough to have a hot flash. This kid was only 12, and this kid was a boy. Within 1 week, that kid was diagnosed with leukemia, and that started a new career for me. It's called hospital mom. I gained 30 pounds as an award that I can share with you. But during that 3.5 years, I didn't work. Luckily, I made enough money in my company that I could survive without working for 3.5 years. But during that time, I was focused on getting my child well. But that time ended. And if you're wondering, that child is doing great. He has a master's degree in biomedical engineering, and he works for a fabulous consulting company. What's the lesson for you? Put in chat, 2 life transitions. What's the lesson for you? This is the end result for me. After that second life transition, I don't put this up to brag, but this is just the facts. After that second life transition, because I continued to start another business, because I changed my mindset, because I could have just, I was so like, I can't figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I knew I didn't want to travel the country flying all the time. I knew I didn't want to do that, but what else could I do? I didn't know. I had to change my mindset. I had to understand and apply the trends to my current skill set. I had to believe in my own value to create. And I didn't have all of the answers to start those 2 businesses. I don't have all of the answers yet. But it was just that shift in mindset, creating a plan that was based on data, and then many times working with tears streaming down my eyes that resulted in this. And it's not just me. I could give you tons of examples. I'm just going to give you one. This gentleman is a friend of mine at age 80. I don't know how many of you all in here are 80. It didn't look like many with the cameras on. But at age 80, this man went back to his past. He used to train speakers, and COVID hit. He couldn't do that anymore. He had to come online and learn Zoom at age 80. And now he has a thriving business that made 6 figures in the first year because he wasn't afraid of new technology and change. And he knew that he had value, just like you. Now, I've been blessed to train over 50,000 students. I've got to update that last slide. I just finished a contract where we trained 38,000. So this is the last 5 years, 50,000. And there are 3 things that I have learned. The big pain point for Gen X and baby boomers falls into 3 broad buckets. Now, there's other things they need. And so because of this experience, I decided I've worked with this age group my whole life. I'm a gerontologist trying to help them go forward and be prepared for the things that come along with the stage of life they're in. So I decided I'm going to start this new program called Boss Up 45 Plus with coaching and resources and AI tools to help people earn faster. But here's the three things I learned. They lack confidence. It's amazing to me. Brilliant people with decades of experience don't have confidence in their ability to produce. They didn't have confidence in their ability to shift from being a worker to being a business builder. So, confidence, big issue. Second one is clarity. Despite years and years of expertise and brilliance, they couldn't figure out what to do. Some people said, well, I used to be an XYZ, and you can do that, but you don't have to do that. You can do something different. You can pull forward the skills, the talents, the interests that you had a long time ago. You can bring all of that stuff forward. And then the third thing, they didn't know how to create that irresistible offer. It's an offer that makes their heart sing, and at the same time, the cash register go ka-ching. So you can take a picture of that QR code, and it will take you over to the 3 free AI tools we're making available to address those 3 issues. Now, all of this means you got to have a mindset shift. You got to know you already have it. You can earn while you look for a job. You can do it on your own. You're brilliant. And if somebody will buy it as you being an employee, they will buy it you being a contractor, a consultant, because this is what we don't want. We don't want to end up like Blockbuster. They actually had a chance to get with the times, but they refused to join Netflix in the early days. When's the last time anybody went over to Blockbuster? Or we can be like the taxi industry. Anybody want that? I don't think so. So we can take what we already know and earn while we look for work. And some of you may never go back to a traditional job once you start to earn. So the first tool you're going to get, it takes a little bit of time to do a demo on this one, but I just want to show you what it does. It's called the Authority Assessment Tool. And what it is you answer a number of questions about yourself. So you'll be able to come over here and just put all of the questions. It'll ask you, and you just put the answers in. But this is what I want you to see. The confidence piece partially is because people don't realize their value. And this confidence piece will help you to understand what are your key strengths that you can use to go forward and earn on your own. It will help you to understand how can you make your brilliance, your expertise into an offer, something that's repeatable. It will help you to understand that. And then it's going to tell you the niches that you can be engaged in with what you already know. So that's one tool. But the tool I want to show you next, and again, you'll get access to this, side hustle strategists. Now we were going to do a, hold on a second. My computer wants to act crazy. Hold on just a second. Let me get back over.
That's okay. I just put the hyperlink for the QR code in chat for everybody. So that particular
Wonderful.
one is in there.
So this tool, you'll have it. Now, you will have either the tool itself or you're going to have the prompt, because this is only available. It's a free tool, but you have to have the paid version of ChatGPT. And I know many people don't have it, even though I think people should get it, but that's because I know the value of AI. So here you can tell what your talents are, about your services, how can you earn, product ideas. And I'm just going to do this one really quickly because I have a case study. This is the way it works. It just takes you through these things. And the person who gave me their information, their primary skills, professional background, program, project, I guess, project management, singing, training on Microsoft. Oops, guess I should learn how to spell. Hmm. Very simple tools. Now it's asking, what do you enjoy doing? And what are you willing to do? Let me just make it so you can see it. It's asking me, what do you enjoy doing? And how much do you want to earn? So I'm going to say, out of all of these things I mentioned, I like the training the most. I'm just making this part up because she didn't give me everything. And I want to make $2,000 more a month. And then who do you want to work with to make this 2,000? You can say, I want to work with businesses or the general population. I'm going to say the general population because right now, because so many people have lost jobs, especially in this area, this might be something that has teeth. So now it's repeating everything and it's giving me five possibilities. Five possibilities. Okay. So one, you can do a Microsoft Excel Basics boot camp for beginners. It's telling me what I could charge. This is based on data. This is based on what real people are already doing. It tells you who your ideal customer is and what problems you're solving. You've got to solve a problem to be in business. It tells you how you're going to make that 2 grand you want to make. You need 14 students charging $149, and you're going to get $2,086. It gives you five ideas of things that you can do with whatever it is you enjoy doing. I love this. And it's based on data. When you look at the prompt, when you use the QR code, you go over and take a look at that prompt, you're going to see how involved that prompt is. This is based on data, right? Okay. And another thing that I'm sharing with you is because remember we talked about how to get started. So this is going to help you with your clarity. And then we talked about an offer. This other tool is called the Ideal Customer Generator. Now, what does that have to do with offers? Because you've got to know who you're selling to in order to sell, and you got to be clear about it. So I'll do this demo very, very quickly. So you're going to describe who you think you want to reach out to. So this person is, they said they want to teach uh, parents who want their children to learn piano. That's who they want to be selling to. And they're going to be selling piano lessons and music reading. So you're just going to put in here the things that you're thinking about. This is not rocket science. Where do they want to do it? They want to do it in Washington, D.C. You could say the whole United States if you're doing something. This is going to tell you demographics, psychographics, where to find them, where to go, who they follow. This is your marketing plan because it tells you everything. So, you know, if you're doing piano lessons, that you can't potentially go to a neighborhood where people aren't making a lot of money. Piano lessons are expensive. It tells you what are their strongest desires. Whatever they desire, and you're being a piano teacher, that's what you sell. The most difficult pain points that they're dealing with, this is language you put in your marketing. You look at their values. Your values have to align with your customer. You can't sell somebody something that's not in alignment with the values. So there's a lot more to this. Where do you find them? The organizations they belong to, that's where you go. The events they go to, that's where you go. And then it even gives you a sample promotion you can use for that. So with AI, you guys can do a lot. There is no reason for anyone in here, not one soul in here, not being able to do whatever it is you want to do. You've got to change your mindset. You're going to have to learn how to use some tools. And I gave you a very simple tools that you can use. So it's not like you have to learn a whole lot of new technology, because I know a lot of times people don't want to learn a lot of new technologies, and I get it. I am what I refer to as a non-techie tech. I love tech, but I'm not super. But today, guess what? Last week, I created an app where I'm training people. I've done it with the community college. I've done it with a group of people 50 plus. I'm training people on how to pitch better. You've got to learn how to communicate your value to your customer. And I created my own app because they have no code tools now. So if I can help anybody, I am happy to. I wish you guys the best. For those of you who are ready to find your jobs, I wish you the best, because having your own business is not for everybody. But I do want you to realize that you've got enough value. If your job search is taking a long time, you've got enough value within yourself that you can earn some revenue. Okay? All righty. Thank you guys so much. I'm Angela Heath with TKC Incorporated. I am on LinkedIn as the real Angela Heath. Thank you so much.
Angela, thank you so much. We have several questions for you. And let me bring up my Word document because I put them in there. Would you please clarify about using your programs on the Chat GPT? Does it have to be a paid subscription to use it?
Those are called pre-trained general tools on ChatGPT. So what you get, what I'm giving you, I'm gifting you, is you'll have the link to the actual tools. But if you don't have the $20 a month version of ChatGPT, you won't be able to access them. And that's why I also gave you prompts. So you just simply take the prompt and drop it into the tool of your choice.
Okay. The next question is someone said they're a syndicated media marketing specialist and they were laid off in August. What do you offer for an anomaly like me? They have a current resume and just graduated with a dual doctorate and MBA. But finding something reputable has been a real challenge, and they're going to connect with you. And I know this person. Would you please make sure that you connect directly with Angela in chat? But Angela, do you have any thoughts for people who maybe not the normal, I'm a writer, I'm an editor, I'm an engineer?
You don't have to be anything in particular. I know people, oh my gosh, if I had time, I would show you all the people who are making six figures plus, doing things that 10 years you would have said you're going to starve doing that. There's a guy who started knitting during COVID to calm his nerves. He made almost $200,000 in less than a year. There's a woman who Was a dog walker. Dog walkers don't typically make a lot of money unless you're in a high-end neighborhood. Well, she started using non-toxic paint on the dogs to, make them look really cute. Their tails are pink or whatever. You probably have seen that. She's making over six figures. So it's not so much what you don't have. It's looking at, use that tool, that side hustle tool is looking at what you have and putting everything together. I tell people never leave anything out, because the things you leave out, look at Marty, 80 years old. He went back to something he did 30 years before. He pulled it forward. He added the 21st century tool, and then he became very successful. He's like 84 now. He's going strong. So it's
Thank
not what you don't have, or maybe I can't do anything with this thing. You can. You just have got to find the right combination. Remember, I said what makes your heart sing, what you enjoy, and makes your cash register go ka-ching. So there's ways to research the market to find out if people are buying what you're going to sell. If they're not buying it, if you're selling Fortran, I had somebody tell me that. I don't know, like IT people, Fortran was a language from yesteryear. Nobody's buying Fortran. There might be a few people buying it, but there's so few, it's going to be hard to sell it. So don't worry about that. Put your information in the tool and see what it gives you. Run it a couple times. It may not give you exactly what you want, but it could spark something so you can find what you want to do. I hope
Okay,
that helps.
I think so. And Angela, is there training for setting up a freelance business?
Yes, yes. Now, here's the difference between freelancing and consulting. People get confused. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it gig work, freelance, part-time, whatever this thing is. If you're not getting a W-2, if you're getting a 1099, meaning you're independently working, you have started a business. So people think, oh, I'm just freelance. No, you started a business. Freelancing just means that you're going to offer your services to people based on a project, based on an hour. I don't advise people, not us, we're too brilliant. We don't charge by the hour, we charge by the outcome. But you're just offering it to a number of people. Consultants do the same thing. I had a consulting group, I had a ton of clients. I was just offering my services to a ton of people. So, you being a freelancer, it doesn't really matter. Now, I also train on, the freelance tools. In fact, this is the book that got me back. Remember when I told you after my kid got sick? And this is about online freelancing. This book is 7 years old. I still get contracts because of that book,
Great.
because all of this stuff is growing fast.
Thank you, Angela. Someone asked, does this kind of transition work with businesses that do something other than teaching other people how to do something else?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had time, I would take you over. Oh, here's a resource. I think it's still up. Let me see if it's still up. Um, I helped develop the AARP Foundation Freelancing Resource Center.
Oh, wow. That's a great source.
Yeah, I don't know, because the program is not available anymore.
Mhm.
They just ended it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long this might be up. So I would advise you, if you're interested in online freelancing, finding those tools. It may not even be up anymore.
Angela, do you need an LLC and is there a cost for that? And do you recommend going to the SBA to figure out how to do LLCs or go to ChatGPT or what do you suggest?
ChatGPT hallucinates. So whatever you do over there, you always vet it. There is a law, ChatGPT, that's much more accurate, but you can go to the SBA. There's the Small Business Administration, Small Business Development Centers. I think all of you guys are in the DC area. There's one in every county. Go there. They will help you figure out what you need. But no, the answer is you don't have to have an LLC to be a freelancer or to be self-employed. Depending on what you do, if there's a likelihood that you might get sued, you might want to have a structure so that they won't sue you personally. Like if you're going into people's homes, babysitting or something, or caregiving, you would want to have, some kind of legal entity so that they don't sue you, but you don't have to have one. But there's tons. There's the women's business centers, the veterans business centers, technology business centers. We have a lot of resources right here in the DC area that will help you think that through because it really does depend on your circumstances.
And I see some people putting information about the SBA in chat.
Great.
Yeah, which is really great. And yes, the gift that Angela has given to you is that QR code. And also, I put the hyperlink for that QR code in chat so that you can see the different programs that Angela is talking about and you can use them and apply them to your situation. Um, Angela, someone said, can they use Gemini or any other alternative to Chat GPT?
Yes, use the AI generative tool of your choice. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And so if someone is saying they're looking into help book hotels for parents of NBA and college students, that's
Say it
interesting.
again.
They're looking to help book hotels for parents of NBA and college students.
That's an interest. So you're going to partner with the universities. You
Oh,
you
that's
got to
good.
partner with the universities. Partner with the universities because they will include you in all of the stuff that they send out.
Okay.
Look for partnerships that make your life easier.
Someone just said they're at the resources wondering if we take the Chat GPT assessment and put that into the side hustle AI, how do these three things work together?
They're not necessarily the tools that I gave you are the tools that I know deal with the pain points after training so many people 45 plus. You can put them together. Um, they don't have to work together. But if you take like the authority assessment tool, you can take your results, you can put that into the side hustle generator and say, hey, here's my strengths and here's some areas where I need to grow. Tell me, what do you think I can do with all of this?
Yeah, I think that's true. We have, hold on a second.
And a couple of people are asking to put the UR.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just saw that and I will put
okay,
it back in. It's currently in chat and I will put it back in chat again.
terrific. That would
Um,
be great.
Thank you, Jody. And Angela, someone said that you mentioned you posted into related to businesses other than training businesses. If I've missed the above, could you please repost or amplify? Wait a minute.
I'm
Ms.
not
Heath,
sure what they're
yeah, Ms.
asking.
Heath mentioned posting info related to businesses other than training businesses. If I've missed something above, oh, yeah, the three the programs that you talked about, you it doesn't have to be about training people. That was the answer to your question that you gave
No,
earlier.
no, no, it doesn't have to be about training.
Okay. And then Angela, the link that you put in for AARP, or you didn't put that in,
I
correct?
did not put it in, but I can. I'll put it
Okay,
in for you.
that would be great.
Now,
And then,
hopefully it is still working because I wasn't able to get in. So,
okay.
and I was their trainer. So
Oh,
hope that,
you
and
can't do
they're changing how they're going to be offering these kind of support. So um, I'll put it in, but I don't know
right.
what they've decided.
And is your Boss Up 45 Plus still available, or are there other mentoring coaching programs?
We're launching Boss Up 45 Plus in May during Older Americans Month, but we do free webinars all the time. We just did a free webinar for people 45 plus last month, and I think the next one will be May. So we will keep you abreast of like the webinars and the program launch.
Okay, and everybody, yes, you will get a copy of the chat. I'll send that to everybody in a couple days, but you can also download, well, not everybody can, but those that can, if you go up to the ellipsis on top of the chat that says next to the JCA Montgomery County, Maryland Virtual 50 Plus Employment Expo, you click on save, click on those three little dots, and then click save chat, and that goes down to your hard drive under Zoom. Excuse me. And Angela, are you able to share any of your slides with people, or we'll just wait for the recording to come out?
Yeah, I don't share slides.
That makes sense because you are your own
That's my
differentiator.
IP.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, I just wanted to say, if you're running transcript, you can also download too. Yes, thank you, Susan. Um, Everyone, thank you so much for your questions for Angela. And Angela, thank you so much for being here today. This has been very informative, and it's given a lot of people like to think outside the box. And we all bring great skills and talent to the table, and we just have to sit quietly for a moment and then put it in ChatGPT or other programs and start working our way forward.
Can I make one last comment?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
this is so important. I feel very passionate about this. Like 10 years ago, I was talking to people 50 plus about what changes are happening now. I didn't know about AI, but I did know that businesses were going more to contractors. I saw that 10 years ago. And people were so afraid. I know of people who are brilliant who have actually lost things like their homes because they were too afraid to sell on their own. We don't want to be in a space like that. If you have been unemployed for a long time, continue to look for what you want in the marketplace, but don't discount your excellence, your brilliance, your skill set. If someone else will buy it, someone else will buy it, whether it's an employer or whether it is a client. Don't sit there and wait and years later regret not pursuing both. It's going to take some time and energy, and you may have to learn something else to complement what you already know. But believe me, it'll be well worth it. I get to do what I love for a living, and they pay me. They pay me. And I have fun. I don't feel like I'm working. I have fun because I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. And you are too. So don't miss an opportunity because I'm telling you, the way things are changing, if you don't look at options, you might wake up in a few years and say, oh my God, I wish I would have. So you guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for inviting me, and go out there and find something that's going to make your heart sing and your cash register go ka-ching, ka-ching.